The rain was cold like ice water, soaking through my thin cardigan, but I barely felt it. I was numb, watching my son-in-law, Ryan, stand in the glowing doorway of my daughter's beautiful home. His face was a mask of cold, hard anger. "You are toxic, Carol," he hissed, his voice low so the neighbors wouldn't hear. "You will not poison my wife against me." Behind him I could see my daughter, Claire, her face pale and streaked with tears. "Please, Ryan," she sobbed, her voice weak. She didn't mean it. Ryan didn't even look at her. "She's gone," he snapped. He grabbed my small worn suitcase from the porch. It was the one I used for visits, the one where I kept a little stuffed bear for my grandson, Liam. With a grunt, Ryan hurled it onto the perfectly green lawn. The suitcase burst open, spilling my clothes and the little bear onto the wet grass. "If you are not off this property in 5 minutes," he said, pointing a finger at me, "I am calling the police for trespassing." He stepped back inside, and the heavy oak door slammed shut. The click of the deadbolt felt like a bullet. I stood there, shivering, a 58-year-old woman, homeless on a rainy Tuesday night. My own daughter was just 20 feet away, and I had never felt more alone. If you have ever felt betrayed by someone you trust, please share this story so others know they are not alone. My legs felt like cement, but I forced them to move. I couldn't let him call the police. The shame would be too much. I gathered my wet clothes from the lawn, stuffing them back into the broken suitcase, my hands shaking so hard I could barely zip it. The little bear was soaked. I wiped its face and put it in my purse. I walked for half an hour in the rain until I found a small motel. The kind with a flickering vacancy sign and peeling paint. The room smelled like bleach and old cigarettes. I sat on the edge of the stiff bed, the dampness seeping into my bones. I had to hear Claire's voice. I had to know she was okay. I dialed her number. It rang once, then clicked straight to voicemail. "Claire, honey, it's me. Please call me. I'm at a motel. I just want to know you're safe." I tried again. Straight to voicemail. A minute later, my phone buzzed with a text from her number. "Mom, I can't talk. You made him furious. You went too far. Please just give us space. I need to fix this." My blood ran cold. The words were hers, but the tone was not. "You made him furious. Give us space." It was cold, formal. It was Ryan using my daughter's phone to cut me off completely. I stared at the text message, the blue light stinging my eyes in the dark room. How did this happen? My mind raced back, replaying the last 3 hours. It all started so simply. I was helping Claire clean up the home office after dinner. Ryan was out getting ice cream with Liam. I was bundling old papers for the recycling bin when I saw it. It was a high-gloss bank statement, different from their usual bank. It must have been put in the bin by mistake. The name on it wasn't Ryan or Claire. It was Apex Global LLC. I almost ignored it, but a number at the bottom caught my eye. A wire transfer made just yesterday for $50,000. It was coded property deposit. When Claire came back with the dustpan, I held it up. "Honey, what is this? Are you and Ryan buying a new property?" Claire's face went white. She snatched the paper from my hand. "Mom, you shouldn't be snooping." "I wasn't snooping, it was in the trash," I said gently. $50,000 is a lot of money. Is everything okay?" Before she could answer, the front door opened. "Ryan." He saw the paper in her hand and the look on her face. And his entire mood changed. It was a cold, quiet rage. He didn't just throw me out because of a fight. He threw me out to silence me. Barely slept. The next morning, I used the last of my cash for a bus pass. My only thought was Liam. If I couldn't see Claire, I could see my grandson. I went to his preschool, arriving just before pickup time. I just wanted to see his face, to feel his little arms hug me. It was the only thing that felt real. I walked up to the front desk. The director, Mrs. Gable, looked up and her smile faded. Her eyes filled with pity. "Carol," she said, her voice low. "I'm sorry I can't let you in." My heart stopped. "What?" What do you mean? I'm on the pickup list. I'm his grandmother. She looked pained. Ryan was here this morning, she said, dropping her gaze. He showed me a video from last night. Of you on the lawn. You were, well, screaming. My mind flashed back. Yes, I had screamed. You can't do this. After he threw my suitcase and threatened to call the police. But he had filmed me after the attack, making me look like the aggressor. He said you're having an emotional crisis, Mrs. Gable continued. And that for Liam's safety, you are not allowed on the property. I'm so sorry, Carol. You are officially on the do not pick up list. I was barred from seeing my own grandson. He was painting me as unhinged. This was not a fight. This was a plan. I walked away from the preschool in a daze. He was 2 steps ahead of me. He had a video. He had a story. He was building a case against me, and I was just a confused, heartbroken woman in a cheap motel. Felt so stupid, so powerless. Then I got angry. I sat on a cold park bench and made a call I should have made last night. I dialed the one person who never fell for Ryan's perfect, charming act. Claire's old college roommate, Maya. Maya was a scrappy reporter for a small online news site. She was tough, smart, and she answered on the second ring. Carol, what's wrong? You sound awful. The dam broke. I told her everything, the tears choking my words. The fight, the bank statement, the motel, the video, the preschool. She was silent for a long moment. Then I heard her typing fast. Carol, I knew it, she said, her voice sharp. I never trusted that guy. He was too smooth. When Claire got engaged, I ran a basic background check on him for fun, you know. For the bachelorette party. What did you find? Asked, my heart pounding. That's just it, Maya said, her voice grim. Nothing. The guy is a ghost. No social media, no family photos online, no college records before he met Claire. Ryan, as a person, didn't exist until 5 years ago. He's a complete fabrication. Fabrication. The word hung in the air, cold and terrifying. What does that mean, Maya? I whispered, clutching the phone. It means he's not who he says he is. I'm coming to get you. Text me the motel address. We're digging. An hour later, Maya burst into my room with a laptop, a bag of donuts, and a fire in her eyes. Okay, she said. Let's go over everything. Every weird detail. I told her again about the fight, the bank statement, the LLC. Then I remembered something else. When I was packing my things. After he yelled at me, I saw a box on his dresser. A little blue velvet jewelry box. Not from a local store. A gift for Claire. Maya asked, typing. I don't think so, I said, a sick feeling growing. I saw the receipt in his wastebasket. He's usually so careful, but he was angry. He must have forgotten. Do you remember the jeweler? I did. It was an expensive, exclusive name. Maya's fingers flew across the keyboard. She found the website, then called their customer service line, pretending to be a frantic assistant checking on her boss's order. Yes, the order for Ryan, she said. He just wants to confirm the inscription before pickup. Oh, you can. Great. She listened, her face hardening. She hung up the phone and looked at me. The inscription wasn't for Claire. He ordered a diamond tennis bracelet. The engraving was, My dearest Sophia. Sophia, I repeated. The name felt like acid on my tongue. He was having an affair. He was stealing from my daughter and buying gifts for another woman. We have to show Claire, I said, standing up. This is the proof. Whoa, not so fast, Maya said, pulling me back down. He's got Claire locked down. A text from you won't work. We need to know who this Sophia is. Maya was a digital bloodhound. It took her 30 minutes. Sophia, she said, is Sophia Vane, a high-powered real estate broker in the next town. She deals in luxury properties. And, oh, look at that. Her agency is the one listing Claire and Ryan's house. My breath hitched. He's selling their house. He's selling the house he's living in, Maya corrected. And it looks like his girlfriend is his broker. Against Maya's advice, I went there. I had to see her face. Her office was all glass and steel. Sophia was stunning, cold, and dressed in a power suit. She looked at me with bored eyes. "Can I help you?" "I'm Carol," I said, my voice shaking. "Claire's mother." Sophia's bored look turned into a small, cruel laugh. "Oh, you're the mother," she said. "Ryan told me you were emotionally unstable. He wasn't exaggerating. You need to leave. Now." "He is stealing from my daughter," I said, my voice rising. "He's security," she yelled. 2 guards grabbed my arms. As they dragged me out, she smiled. "Get some help, Carol." I was thrown out of a building for the second time in 48 hours. The humiliation was complete. I sat in Maya's car, silent, shaking with a rage that felt new and cold. "Okay," Maya said, her voice quiet but firm. "That proves it. She's in on it. This isn't an affair, Carol. This is a conspiracy." We went back to the motel. Felt hopeless. I had no money, no home. My daughter was a prisoner, and my grandson was a stranger. "I need to call Claire again," I said, reaching for my phone. "No," Maya said. "We need to think. He's cut you off. What's your last lifeline?" "The emergency card," I whispered. "Claire gave me a credit card years ago, just for emergencies. She pays the bill. I've never used it." I pulled it from my wallet. "Let's see if it works," Maya said. "There's a vending machine down the hall." I walked down the hall, my heart pounding. I swiped the card to buy a bottle of water. Klein. My hands trembled. I tried again. Card error. See attendant. I went back to the room, my face pale. "It's declined," I said. I called the number on the back of the card. A polite voice at the bank informed me. "I'm sorry, ma'am. That card was reported stolen this morning by the primary account holder and has been cancelled. A new card is being mailed to him." He hadn't just cancelled it. He'd reported it stolen. He was reinforcing the narrative. I was unstable, and now I was a thief too. I was completely adrift. No money, no family. Ryan was playing a game of chess, and I was just a pawn he'd swept off the board. Maya bought me a cup of coffee and sat with me as the panic set in. "He's going to hurt her," I whispered, the hot liquid scalding my hands. "He's not just going to take the money. He's going to hurt her." "We don't know that," Maya said, but her voice lacked conviction. As if on cue, my phone rang. A no-caller ID flashed on the screen. My heart leaped. Answered. "Mom." It was Claire. Her voice was a tiny, terrified whisper. "Claire. Honey, are you okay? Where are you?" "I'm in the pantry," she whispered, her words rushed. "Mom, I'm scared." He's not himself. He locked all my accounts. He said I'm too emotional to handle the finances right now. He took my car keys. "I know, honey, I know," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "He's lying to you. He's—" "No, Mom, you don't understand," she sobbed, a new wave of panic in her voice. "I tried to email you after he took my phone. He found me. He smashed my laptop. Right in front of me. He smashed it." My blood turned to ice. This was no longer just financial. This was dangerous. "Claire, listen to me," I said. "You need to." I heard a sound. A door handle rattling. Claire gasped. "He's coming. I have to go." The line went dead. "He smashed her laptop." I said the words out loud to Maya. The playful, charming man my daughter had married was gone. A monster was in his place. "He's escalating," Maya said, her face grim. "He knows the clock is ticking. We need help, Carol. Real help." "The police?" "Yes." "And say what?" Maya countered. "My son-in-law is mean. They'll call it a domestic dispute. We have no hard proof of a crime, just a bunch of he said, she said." She was right. We needed something more. "I know a guy," Maya said, grabbing her keys. "He's unconventional. But he's the best." She drove us to a rundown strip mall. to an office above a laundromat. The sign on the door just said, JS Investigations. The man inside, James, looked as tired as his office. His suit was rumpled. His desk was piled high with paper, and he had the saddest eyes I'd ever seen. Maya explained he was a brilliant lawyer who got disbarred for taking on a corrupt corporation. Now he worked as a legal aid and private investigator, mostly for free. I told him the whole story. He listened, nodding, not saying a word. When I finished, he leaned back in his chair. This isn't a family dispute, Mrs. Miller, he said, his voice gravelly. This is a classic exit con. He's isolating her, controlling the finances, and building a narrative. That $50,000 was a test. The final transfer is coming. Relief washed over me, so strong my knees buckled. Thank you, Olivia, I breathed. We don't have much time. We huddled together on the park bench, pretending to watch the children play. Maya quickly wrote a note on a napkin from her glove box. It's simple, Maya said to Olivia. All you have to do is get this to Claire. Don't let her read it. Make sure she hides it until she's alone. In a bathroom, a closet, anywhere. The note was short and terrifying. Claire, they are lying. His name is Daniel. He is selling the house tomorrow. He is dangerous. Your mother has a plan. Be ready. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. We are coming for you. What's the plan? Olivia whispered, her eyes wide. At 10 a.m. sharp tomorrow, Maya said. We need a diversion. Big one. Can you trigger the fire alarm? Olivia nodded. It's in the main hall. He'll think it's a malfunction. He'll go straight to the security panel to shut it off. Good, I said. When he's at the panel, I need you to take Liam. Run out the front door. Don't stop for anything. Maya will be parked at the end of the street, in a blue sedan. Get in the car. What about Claire? Olivia asked. I'll be there too, I said, a new, cold resolve in my voice. Claire will go out the back. I'll be waiting by the fence. Olivia tucked the note into her sleeve. Okay. 10 a.m. She took a deep breath and walked Liam back toward the house, a brave soldier going into battle. While Maya and I were at the park, James was at the bank. He'd called ahead, using his old lawyer credentials, to get a meeting with the branch manager about a sensitive client fraud case. He walked in and laid out the story. He showed the manager the Mark photo, the link between Ryan and Sophia, and the text from Hannah. But the bank manager was hesitant. This is a serious accusation, the manager said. But without a court order, I can't just stop a multi-million-dollar closing. I know, James said. That's why I'm not asking you to. Not yet. Just then I walked in. I was no longer the crying victim from the motel. I was a mother fighting for her child. My name is Carol Miller, I said, my voice clear and strong. And that man, Daniel Peters, is holding my daughter and grandson hostage in my late husband's home. He has isolated her. He has smashed her property, and he is trying to paint me as unstable. I told him about the preschool, the video, the stolen credit card report. He is selling that house, I said. And when that wire goes through, he will disappear, and I will never see my daughter again. Are you going to be the man who let him get away? The manager looked from me to James, his face pale. He finally nodded. I can't stop the closing, he said. But I can flag the wire transfer for a final verbal confirmation. And I can require a final in-person signature on a new federal form. He looked at his watch. I'll call him now. I'll tell him he needs to be here in this office at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow to sign. He won't be able to resist. He'll be too arrogant to think it's a trap. The next morning was a fog of terror and adrenaline. Maya and I were parked down the street from the house at 9:50 a.m. James was at the bank, with Hannah, who had arrived on the red-eye flight, her face pale but determined. I got a text from James. Bank trap is set. Good luck. I looked at Maya. I'm going, I said. I got out of the car and crept through the neighbor's yard, hiding behind the tall hedges that separated the properties. I could see the back of Claire's house. I was terrified. 10 a.m. Nothing. 10:01 a.m. My heart was going to burst. Then I heard it. The high-pitched, wailing shriek of the fire alarm. It was working. A moment later I saw the front door fly open. Just as planned, Olivia ran out, holding Liam, who was crying from the noise. She didn't look back. She sprinted down the driveway and jumped into Maya's car. Maya hit the gas and they were gone. I knew Ryan would be at the security panel, furious, trying to shut off the alarm. "Come on, Claire," I whispered, my eyes fixed on the back door. The door flew open. Claire ran out, her hair wild, her feet bare. She was sobbing. She vaulted the low back fence in a single desperate move. I grabbed her and we ran. We piled into my little car parked 2 blocks away. She was hyperventilating. "He's a monster," she cried. "He's not Ryan. He's a monster." "I know, baby," I said, holding her. "I know. It's over." We drove straight to the bank. Claire was in the back seat, wrapped in a blanket, still shaking. I got a text from Maya. "We're safe. At James's office. Liam is watching cartoons. Go get him." "It's 10:30, I told James, who was waiting for us in the bank's lobby. "He's here," James said, nodding toward a private conference room. "He's arrogant, just like we thought." He showed up right on time, furious about the inconvenience of the fire alarm. "He thinks Claire is still at the house," I said, a cold satisfaction spreading through me. "He has no idea." "Let's go," James said. He led us to the conference room. "The manager told him he's just waiting on one last party to sign," James whispered. "He thinks it's a bank official." Ryan was sitting at the head of a long, polished table, tapping his pen impatiently. He looked up, annoyed. "What is this?" "I'm in a..." His voice died. His face went white. He wasn't looking at me or Claire. He was looking at the woman standing in the corner, her arms crossed. "Hello, Daniel," said Hannah, his first wife. Her voice was quiet, but it cut through the room. Ryan's mask of charm dissolved. I saw the real man underneath. He was weak. He was a cornered rat. Daniel stared at Hannah. His face went from white to red. I don't know who you are," he stammered, pushing his chair back. "Of course you do, Mark," Hannah said, stepping forward. "Or is it Ryan now? You recorded me, remember? You told me I was crazy. You took my family's money. This is insane," Ryan yelled, looking at the bank manager, who was standing by the door. "This woman is crazy. This is harassment." "Is she, Daniel?" James asked, stepping into the room. "Or is she just the first one? The first woman you destroyed and left with nothing?" "I'm calling my lawyer," Ryan shouted, fumbling for his phone. He turned to flee, to push his way out of the room. He ran for the door. But it opened before he could get there. He stopped dead. Standing in the doorway was his sister, Sophia. And she did not look happy. Flanking her were 2 police detectives. Ryan's hand, still holding his phone, dropped to his side. He looked at his sister, his eyes wide with betrayal. "Sophia, what is this? Tell them these people are crazy." Sophia just stared at him, her face carved from ice. "An exit con," I repeated, the strange words feeling heavy on my tongue. "He's a professional," James said, his eyes sharp. "He's done this before. The charm, the isolation, the gaslighting, painting you as unstable. It's a playbook." He turned to his computer. "You said the LLC was Apex Global, and the woman was Sophia Vane." He typed for a few minutes, using a search tool I didn't recognize. A screen full of data popped up. Well, he muttered. "Maya, you were right. Sophia isn't his girlfriend. She's his sister." My jaw dropped. "But she's a real estate broker." "They're a team," James said, his face hardening. "She's the legit face of the operation. She finds the properties, the targets. He's the closer." He marries the women and she sells off their assets. He kept digging. And Ryan isn't his real name. His name is Daniel Peters. Sophia is Sophia Peters. Daniel and Sophia Peters. A brother and sister team who targeted women, bled them dry, and then vanished. My daughter wasn't his wife. She was his victim. The whole marriage, the man I thought I knew, the life he had with my daughter, it was all one big, ugly, shocking truth. Felt sick. I had to grip the arms of the cheap plastic chair to keep from falling. My daughter. My sweet, trusting Claire. She wasn't just in a bad marriage. She was in a trap. He's done this before, you said. I pushed, my voice trembling. Can you find them? The other victims. Already on it, James said. His disbarment hadn't cost him his contacts. He made a call to a friend, a data analyst. While we waited, Maya filled him in on the screaming video. He's building a case for a restraining order, James nodded. He'll claim she's hysterical, needs to be committed. By the time she gets a lawyer, he and the money will be gone. His phone buzzed. He read the text. Got one, he said. A woman in Arizona. Her name is Hannah. James put the phone on speaker. Mrs. Davis. This is James Stone. I'm calling about a man you knew named Mark. A shaky voice came through the speaker. Mark. Hey. I haven't heard that name in years. Did he record you? James asked gently. Hannah was silent for a moment. Then she whispered. Yes. He told me my family was trying to steal from me. He convinced me to put everything in a new account in his name. When I found out, when I screamed at him. He recorded it. He used it to prove I was crazy. My hand flew to my mouth. It was the exact same playbook. He took everything, Hannah whispered, and I could hear her quiet tears. My parents' inheritance. Everything. After the call with Hannah, the small office was silent. The only sound was the hum of the old computer. Hannah's story was a terrifying echo of what was happening to Claire. He's not going to stop, I said, the words feeling like stones in my mouth. He's going to take everything. Yes, James said, turning back to the screen. And he's moving fast. He pulled up the bank statement I had seen. The $50,000 transfer. You said this was for a property deposit, he said to me. He nodded. He's not buying property, James said, his fingers flying. He's selling it. He pulled up the public listing for Claire's home. My heart sank. It was the house my late husband and I had helped her buy. The down payment, a gift from us. It's listed as pending sale, James said grimly. The $50,000 wasn't a deposit he made. It was a non-refundable deposit he received to fast-track the closing. Fast-track to when? Maya asked, leaning in. James found the closing documents online. His face went pale. He's not waiting. The sale is set to close tomorrow. At 10 a.m. Tomorrow. Gasp. And the proceeds, James continued, pointing to a wire transfer form. Over $2 million are set to be wired directly into this account. He pointed to the Apex Global LLC account. The one he and his sister controlled completely. $2 million. Tomorrow. The ticking clock was deafening. We have to stop the sale, I said, my voice rising in panic. And we have to get Claire and Liam out of that house. Right, James said, taking charge. He was a new man, his tired eyes now sharp and focused. Here's the plan. We have two objectives. 1. Stop the money. 2. Get your family. He looked at me. Carol, I need you to call the bank handling the closing. Not as an investigator, but as a terrified mother. You're going to tell the bank manager what you know. But we need to do it in person. It's too easy to ignore a call. What about Claire? Asked, my stomach twisting. He's watching her. He smashed her laptop. He's probably tracking her phone. She's a hostage, Maya said, her mind working. How do we get a message to a hostage? We all stared at each other. The house was a fortress. Ryan controlled every call, every text. We had no way in. Wait, I said, an idea sparking. He doesn't control everyone. Who? James asked. The nanny, I said. Olivia. She takes Liam to the park every day. Rain or shine. She's young and she's always looked scared of him. She might be our only way in. It was a long shot, but it was the only one we had. Okay, Maya said. Let's move. James, you get the bank. Carol, you and I are going to the park. James nodded. I'll call Hannah. She needs to be on the first flight here. It's time Daniel faced his past. Maya and I drove to the park near Claire's house. My heart was a drum against my ribs. What if Olivia wasn't there? What if she was loyal to Ryan? We saw her. She was sitting on a bench, pushing the swing for Liam, but her eyes were vacant. She looked exhausted and afraid. Maya and I sat on the next bench. He's so cute, I said, nodding toward Liam. Olivia gave a weak smile. He's a sweet boy. I'm Carol, I said, my voice soft. I'm Claire's mom. Olivia's face went white. She stood up, grabbing Liam's hand. I can't talk to you. I'll be fired. He's lying to her, I said, my voice desperate. He's a con man. He's selling their house tomorrow and plans to leave with all the money. He's done this before. I don't know, she stammered. Maya stepped forward. His real name is Daniel Peters. He's working with his sister Sophia. Here. She showed Olivia the picture of Mark, from Hannah's old driver's license. This is him, isn't it? Olivia stared at the photo. She was trembling. He told me Claire was unstable, she whispered. He said I had to watch her. He's the unstable one, I said. And he's dangerous. Please, help me save my daughter. Olivia looked at Liam, then back at me. Okay, she whispered. I'll help. You, Sophia spat, her voice dripping with venom. You stupid, arrogant man. Sophia, what are you doing? Ryan pleaded, his voice cracking. These are just crazy women. Am I, Daniel? Sophia said. She held up a single piece of paper. A new LLC. Registered in the Cayman Islands. In your name only. Were you going to tell me about that? Or were you going to cut me out, just like you did your last partner? Ryan's face crumbled. He had been betrayed by his own betrayer. Maya had done her job well. After finding Sophia's name, she had dug deeper. She found the new offshore account, the one Ryan had set up to betray his own sister and take all $2 million for himself. Maya had found Sophia an hour ago and showed her the proof. In exchange for her testimony against her brother, Sophia was getting a deal. You were going to leave me with nothing, Sophia said, her voice low. So I'm leaving you with this. She nodded to the detectives. He's all yours. One of the detectives stepped forward. Daniel Peters, you are under arrest for fraud, conspiracy, and grand larceny. As they put the handcuffs on him, Ryan's eyes finally found me. As the detectives clicked the handcuffs on, Ryan's gaze locked on me. He was standing across the room, but I could feel the heat of his hatred. You, he growled, his voice a low hiss. You did this. You old, interfering. Yes, I said, stepping forward. Claire, who had been silent, stepped forward with me, her hand gripping mine. I stood tall, my voice clear and steady, echoing in the quiet, expensive room. It's over. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just stated the fact. This was my revenge. Not loud or violent but firm. It was the quiet, absolute end of his lies. It was the truth. The detectives pulled him toward the door. As he passed, he lunged, a last pathetic attempt at intimidation. You'll regret this. You'll both. The second detective pushed him forward, and he was gone. The room was silent. Claire let out a breath she'd been holding for a year, and then she collapsed into my arms, sobbing. Not the whispers of a prisoner, but the full, cleansing tears of someone who was finally free. I held her, my heart aching with everything we had lost, but swelling with what we had just reclaimed. We were not victims. We were survivors. The days that followed were a blur. There were police statements, lawyer meetings, and a lot of tears. James was a rock, guiding us through the legal mess. The state was building a massive case against Daniel and Sophia. But the most important meeting happened not in a police station, but in James's small, cluttered office. Hannah had delayed her flight back to Arizona. She wanted to meet Claire. I brought them both coffee, and then I left them alone. I watched through the blinds as they talked. First it was hesitant. Two strangers bound by the same terrible secret. Then I saw Claire reach across the table and take Hannah's hand. I saw them both start to cry. I went back in. "He made me feel so stupid," Claire whispered, wiping her eyes. "Like I was crazy for questioning him. He told me I was too emotional to handle my own money," Hannah added with a bitter laugh. "He said he was protecting me from myself." They sat there, sharing their stories, and I watched as the shame lifted from my daughter's shoulders. She wasn't stupid. She wasn't weak. She was targeted. And in that small, dusty office, two women who had been broken by the same man began to put their pieces back together. The story, as Maya put it, had legs. Her investigative article on the frat house con man and his sister went viral. It was picked up by national news. The exposure was intense, but it had an unexpected effect. Two more of Daniel's victims came forward, one from as far as Oregon. The case against him was now ironclad. But the best part was what happened to our team. The high-profile case, and the way James had masterfully coordinated with the victims and the bank, got the attention of the state bar. They reviewed his original disbarment and found that he had been railroaded. A month later, his law license was reinstated. He and Maya, who was now a minor celebrity, decided to use their new platform. They started a non-profit, funded by an anonymous donation from Hannah's recovered assets, called the Phoenix Project. Its mission was simple: to provide free legal aid and investigative services to victims of romantic and financial fraud. They turned their pain and ours into a purpose. They were helping other people find their voice, just as they had helped me find mine. It's been 6 months. The house was sold, the money frozen by the courts. Most of it will go back to the victims. Daniel and Sophia both took plea deals and are serving long sentences. We don't live in that big empty house anymore. Claire, Liam, and I found a small apartment, the kind with sunny windows and walls that needed painting. Today we're painting Liam's room. He's chosen a bright, happy yellow. We have paint on our clothes, in our hair, and we are laughing. Real from the belly laughter. Claire looks over at me, her face smeared with yellow, and her eyes are bright. They are her eyes again, not the dull, frightened eyes of Mrs. Peters. "You're a good painter, Mom," she says. "We make a good team." I look around our small, imperfect, wonderful home. I am no longer the victim on the porch. I am the foundation. I am a mother, a grandmother, and a fighter. We found our way back. Sometimes the most shocking truth isn't the betrayal. It's discovering the strength you never knew you had. If our story has touched your heart or given you hope, please subscribe and share it with someone who needs a reminder that it is never too late to find your new beginning.